Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining. Can you hear me well? Thank you for joining this session. My name is Carol Pereira. I'm a product marketing manager with the Tanzu team to bring you guys the best container management solutions we have out there within our Tanzu portfolio. And we're here today to talk about the top 5 tools customers want when managing multi-cluster Kubernetes. Do you guys have multiple clusters or 1, 2 clusters above 10, more than 10, more than 20? We do ask customers every year, let's see. So, and you may be wondering, how do we know which 5 tools they want, right? What are the top tools? Because we ask literally. So this is a QR code for our State of Kubernetes survey that we run every year. And we ask customers a lot of questions: which Kubernetes distributions they're running, where they're running, if they're doing, public cloud, multi-cloud, all those sorts of questions, including the challenges they have when managing multi-cluster Kubernetes environments, and also the top 5 tools that would help them managing those clusters. So before we dive into the tools themselves, the challenges that they tell us they face those are the top 3 trending up from past years. So you see internal experience and expertise. Security is always at the top 3, so very top of mind for our customers. And also difficulty to manage cluster lifecycle and upgrades. So those are again, it's trending up. You can see from the past year. So the dark blue at the top are the results for 2023. So we know that expertise is a very big challenge, but Tanzu solutions allow you to do a lot of the management pieces of Kubernetes with no YAML exposure or no need for YAML. We have a user experience that allows you to do a lot of things if you don't have that experience. But for teams that do, again, we have multiple options on how to interact with our Kubernetes operations solutions. On the security piece, again, we try to make security boring with a policy engine that has a lot of out-of-box policies, a lot of ways to apply it to clusters, groups of clusters, individual clusters at the org level, so various levels of strictness for policies. And in the cluster lifecycle management piece, again, we strive to bring you a truly multi-cloud solution. So we've been adding, since we released Tanzu Mission Control, for example, which is our Kubernetes management offering that we're going to cover here in more detail today. It started with Tanzu Kubernetes Grid, ability to do cluster lifecycle management, and then we added Amazon EKS clusters last year, and we just announced Azure AKS clusters too. So you can do all of the cluster lifecycle management, create, update, upgrade, delete clusters directly through Tanzu Mission Control, for example. And if security is definitely top of mind for you, if you're in the regulated industry, financial services, healthcare, we also recently launched a self-managed deployment option for that Kubernetes management piece. So we initially only had we had it as a SaaS offering only, but of course our regulated customers and our partners that are building sovereign clouds came to us and were asking for that self-managed deployment for air-gap environments, and now we offer that too, if you're interested. Now the top tools, and you see here I have 6, not 5. So you paid for 5, but you get 6. And what happened is that we had a tie in the 4th place there, so I decided to throw another one in there. So this is the actual ranking, of the top most important tools that our customers tell us all the way down. So you see again, data security and protection is number 1, top of mind. They tell us platform monitoring and alerting is very important too. Software and package management, how do we make things more easy? Infrastructure as a code integration for those out there that do use, Terraform, that have that knowledge within your teams. They want to interact with Tanzu solutions through Terraform providers too. Cluster lifecycle management, again, top of mind, and policy management and compliance, guardrail enforcement, which is actually the main use case we see for mission control specifically, right? So how do we solve all of those problems, or how do we provide all of those tools for our customers? And the answer is Tanzu for Kubernetes Operations, which is a solution that includes the Kubernetes management piece, brought to you by Mission Control at the top there, It also has observability, service mesh, and you might have seen on the keynotes and the solution keynotes that we are combining that Kubernetes operations piece inside what we now call Tanzu Application Platform. So initially we had Tanzu Application Platform as a solution, Tanzu for Kubernetes operations as a separate solution. They're now being combined and they go, from end to end, including a developer portal, supply chain, software supply chain, under the application platform, and it goes all the way through operations with those capabilities. Observability is one that may be included with the Tanzu Intelligence services that we're also announcing. So you see more of that, but for today, let's deep dive on Tanzu Mission Control. So again, it offers policy management, cluster lifecycle management, data protection, a bunch of things that our customers tell us every year that they value, and they want to make it easier. So going back to the tools, their top one, right, on that list of 6 was data protection. And again, we have data protection provided by Valero, which is an open source project. It comes with Tanzu Mission Control, so you can do cluster backup of entire clusters, partial clusters. You can use labels. We recently announced CSI snapshot for persistent volume. So if you have stateful applications running, we have CSI in addition to file system backup. So a lot of options, a lot of flexibility. And we provide support for multiple target locations, Amazon S3, Azure Blob Storage. So very flexible and low management overhead because Valero is included with the solution, right? You don't have to apply that on multiple environments or multiple clusters. Top 2, platform monitoring and alerting. And today with Tanzu Mission Control, we do have an integration with ARIA Observability, which was formerly known as Tanzu Observability or Wavefront. You can integrate that through TMC, and it gives you that easy, click to their dashboard from TMC, and you can customize dashboards and, again, look at your cluster's performance. We also have events and logs inside Tanzu Mission Control. You can export those logs to your preferred logging tool. So a lot of options and flexibility on monitoring too inside the tool. Top 3, software package management. And again, we want to help teams deploy those packages to their clusters more easily. So we have integration with the Bitnami catalog of apps, Tanzu package repository too. So it makes it just easier to, again, deploy the packages that you need on your individual cluster or cluster groups. Infrastructure as code integration. So we do have a Tanzu Mission Control Terraform provider that allows you to attach clusters, apply policies, apply service mesh too. So it's very flexible, and we have that option for, again, those teams that want to leverage that knowledge and interact with those tools. And this is for A. Remember, we had a tie. 42% one, infrastructure as code. Same 42% one, cluster lifecycle management. So again, we just announced support for cluster lifecycle management of Azure AKS clusters. Gives you the ability to provision. You connect your either Amazon account or Azure account, and you can provision, create, update, upgrade, delete those clusters directly through Tanzu Mission Control. And outside of the cluster lifecycle management piece, you can also attach any cluster. So the attach, you don't have LCM capabilities, but you can do everything else. So data protection, automation through GitOps, which we also have. You can connect your Git repository to Tanzu Mission Control and apply packages at scale to multiple clusters. So you have all of that, policies through the UI, all of that to your attached clusters too. And you can attach any CNCF conformant, Cloud Native Computing Foundation conformant cluster, OpenShift, Rancher, everything, all your Kubernetes state. And then that's the top 5. The last one I added in there, policy management and guardrail enforcement. So you see here a view of our policy area inside Tanzu Mission Control, and you see there's security, image registry, network, quota, custom, a lot of different policies that you can apply, again, at different levels, groups of clusters, individual clusters. what we call workspaces, which are groups of namespaces. So we have those constructs of cluster groups and workspaces. And we recently also launched mutation policies a few months back, which basically mutates or updates a request based off of what the platform engineering team, included in the platform. So even if a developer submits a request that is different, that is going to get a validation error and not run, the platform will update that request to whatever the platform team wants and will run it accordingly. So why Tanzu Mission Control? Because you can take control of your environment. So your distributed clusters, you can plug it out into the centralized management. You improve efficiency with a lot of templates, and you increase security also with that centralized policy management, data protection capabilities. And if you are interested about security, go check the session. It is today at 10 a.m. So they're going to cover policies, data protection, and also going to cover resiliency with service mesh. So it's a combination of mission control and service mesh on that session, if you're interested. And here are more resources for you. So with that QR code, you get to our Tanzu for Kubernetes operations page. And then if you go and click into the capability of Kubernetes management, and you get multi-cloud Kubernetes management, you get to the mission control page, which will give you that deeper dive on the key capabilities, some customer success stories, use cases. And over there is our Pathfinder, so you can test drive Tanzu for Kubernetes operations today with that QR code. So with that, thank you. If you have any questions, I'll be hanging around, but thank you for joining my session. Make sure to check out our expo with a lot of demos on Tanzu for Kubernetes operations.